Very dark man, very dark man, very dark man. Whether you are a very dark man or very stupid dark man, we don't care. Soldier issue, you should leave soldier issue. Understand? If you are doing your things, don't mention soldiers. Understand? Don't mention soldiers. And if you say you will continue, we promise you that we will disgrace you in this country, this Nigeria. I swear to my living God. You even said we will learn a hard way. And we will give you 3 days. If you not learn it in that hard way, I swear you will learn it in a hard way. And now you will post it through your Facebook account, your Facebook page. And now the last warning.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, fellow Biafrans and every indigenous nation in that Islamic state of Nigeria. You just heard a Nigerian soldier harassing a citizen of a country. What gave him this authority and this audacity to do all these things is because there is no constitution, and basically because he doesn't even know the code of conduct of what they call being an army is. You as an army, you are supposed to protect the lives of citizens, not harassing the citizen. But because they are just bunch of illiterates that were just brought into the army, there's what they call in Nigeria federal character. Federal character is involved where the northern people, you don't even have a O level. They will recruit you into the army, especially from the Fulanis and the Hausa tribe, not even the minority tribe, because they are stooge. And because over years, this app started in the early 1600 and 1800, where the military are to be protecting the politicians, the British administrators. They are not supposed to protect the civilians. So that character is still going on for a long time until today. That is why you can see this guy putting on a Nigerian army uniform and threatening a citizen is ought to be protected. Just because they say that this man called Verydarkblackman, he went to Bogos and the 28 communities, some part of the 28 communities, to do a kind of telling the world what happened, showing the world, bringing the world closer to the incident that happened on the 24th of December, 25th, 26th, 29th, and 30th. And because of that, the whole world has turned at him. I actually watched another video of where he was invited by the CID in Abuja, where he was making a video in his car that I was telling that if anything happens to me, know that this is where I'm going to. Actually, this man, Verydarkblackman, does not understand the Islamic State of Nigeria. It's an entity that he doesn't understand how it runs. If he understands how it runs, he won't be doing those things he did. I'm not saying what he did is wrong. What he did is absolutely what every indigenous people, every person should have the right to go do. But he does not understand the force behind the Islamic State of Nigeria. That is why he's going around and gallivanting. They don't care about you. If you know you like yourself, just stay off the case of Nigeria. And I know if I used to follow you, and I see that you said you wanted to change your style away from the beauty products and everything. It's great. You want to come and advocate. You've been advocating for people's health, which I admire you for that. But now you want to go into another field. You must be ready for it. You must be ready to face the tune of the system. And your life has to be at stake. That's a fact. Because the force behind the Islamic State of Nigeria is beyond what you could take down just posting on your social medias and just talking. That's an advice from a brother to you. And I appreciate if you would just take that advice. And back to the issue of the Islamic State of Nigeria. It's so painful that we have, look at the young soldier talking. He's less than I'm very sure less than 20 years of age. And His age is not something to contend with, but what is to contend with? They don't know the code of conduct of being an army. So that's why they could just put on their cameras and talk on the phone and send the message. And look at what he said. We are giving you 3 days. Another thing that came up was the issue of this Lagos State governor who does not know his priority as a governor because he was attacked. A soldier broke a traffic light, and I think I mentioned earlier that there's a misplaced of priority there. But this soldier then went on social media and start insulting the governor. It's not normal because most of them are just recruited by recommendation, not by qualification. So that's why they do that, and the system allow them because that is how the system is built to. And we must know that the only way out of this system is to break it. And the coming of Biafra will set this system ablaze and finally break it down and rebuild a better system. Another issue is that we have a lot of prisoners of conscience in detention. It's not only Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that has been in detention. There are a lot of them. One of them is Informer Igwe Janet. She has been in detention and she was released. And looking at the story on the Twitter page or the Facebook page I got it from, abandoned by her family and husband because she refused to distance herself from peoples of Biafra. That's the indigenous people of Biafra. This is it's painful, and it's not only her case. There was a case last year, or rather 2 years ago, where this family were invaded by the Department of State Security, and they were taken from the eastern part of Nigeria to Abuja, and they had 3 children. And for more than a year, the family was going to Abuja to see for their release, and the children were dropped out of different institutions because of the inavailability of their parents. They spent a lot of resources and a lot. There are so much. If I start narrating stories of people that have been in detention for being part of who they say they are causing insecurity in the southeastern part of Nigeria, the Islamic State of Nigeria. Get it right. It's very important. This is to show that there's no freedom of speech, there's no freedom of expression, and there's no freedom of living where you want to live. Another case was about this young man in Ekiti State, where he's an Indibo and he was being harassed that he's a foreigner in Ekiti State. You can imagine. You can't move around to do your business in different places because you are an Indibo. You are an original person from the southeast part of the country. Wherever you go, you are there's an hostile against you. There's hostility against you. I pray the world open his eyes and yield to the call of the Indibos and every indigenous nation away from this contraction called Islamic State of Nigeria.